Hello, people. I did a show yesterday. I wasn't expecting to do one today, but Joey Merlino is making it where I have no choice. I tried to get away with a short. But when you do the best show that I've ever seen on YouTube, I mean, I've seen a lot of good shows on YouTube, but the show that Joey Merlino did yesterday, now his link will be underneath there. When you that show, he went after a bunch of high level informants and buried them. And this is the very day that he has Ric Flair on. So he could say that Joey Merlino delivered the SmackDown. It was kind of fitting that it was the Ric Flair show. And then he did something that was shocking. Shocking because it took 5 minutes. I mean, I got the video here. I'm going to show the video. And it's like 4 minutes long, maybe. And in this 4 minutes, he absolutely devastated informants. He sent a message to the informants that I am not here to be your friend. He sent messages to people like me, anybody that's ever had informants on. Joey Merlino doesn't really want to deal with you, and I can respect that. But Joey Merlino says why. He actually says why he doesn't want to deal with informants and why he will never be part of that. And he mentions about, and this is what we forget as people that do these shows when we have these informants on, is how much it impacts the family. It impacts the family more than impacts the person in prison. It's like Joey Merlino says, that when you decide to go to prison, you can hang out with the guys in prison. You can work out and stuff. If you're not a rat, they're going to put you in the population most of the times, unless you're John Gotti. And don't get me wrong, Joey Merlino spent a lot of time in solitary because they wanted to break him. He was like John Gotti. They wanted to get to him and break him. There were just certain guys that they go after. Merlino was one of them. The difference being is Merlino did get out of prison, and he did live to tell another story. John Gotti never got out. He died in prison. Okay, but I'm going to put this up. I want you to hear it. Right underneath here, what you think. Tell me if I'm missing something here, or if this wasn't a fantastic show because of the way he says it. He's 100% street talk, and he talks like it's from the streets, and there's no BS about it. This is who he is. Let me play this, people. I want you to hear this, and then we'll talk about it when it's done.
Yeah, this is Michael Franzese's lawyer. He DM'd me on my Instagram. Hi, Joe. I represent Michael Franzese, and we'd like to discuss possibly having you on his podcast. Let me know if there's any interest on your end. Thank you for your time and consideration. And I'll take pictures of this and show you on so you can read it for yourself.
Absolutely.
Never. I don't entertain lying rats. That's my answer. I never entertain lying rats. Here's his response. He told me the government never considered him a cooperating witness. But I am not a fan at all of how he associated with the biggest rat of all time, Sammy. And I agree with you that Michael should have never taken a plea deal. First of all, I never said nothing about a plea deal. I'm going to put up so you read it. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about a plea deal. And Sammy, I don't know nothing about Sammy. He invited me on the show too. I wouldn't pee on him if he was on fire. And then he says, I launched his wine here in Michigan, and we became friends. Growing up here, I was hanging out at the racetrack with Taco, so we had things in common. I had my uncle that lives in Florida that owns a Carolina Ale House down there. Would love to meet you when I'm there next. My response, he's a lying motherfucker. He knows he's a rat. His whole family knew he was a rat, including his father. Well, I didn't hear back from him. That was 9 o'clock at night. This morning, the lawyer texted back and said his father was a stand-up guy. He did 50 straight years. Friends of mine knew him. Well, he did 15 with him at FCI Minorville or something. Wherever the fuck he was.
Yeah.
I said, yes, you're right. His father did 50 years, but he still condoned what his son did. He knew his son was a rat. He used to make him visit him, and he picked him up from jail when he got out on his last bid. And he put his bail up for him and sent him commissary. So in my opinion, if you condone your son being a rat, you're just as bad as him. And I don't give a fuck what anybody says. That's the truth. He knew his son was a fucking rat, and he fucking talked. His son put Nobby Walters away, the guy, the sports agent.
Yeah.
His answer is, well, he never went to jail. Well, he's not the judge. You testified against the guy. And you testified against your father's driver, I think it was, the guy out of Chicago. You're a rat. You know you're a fucking rat. Like, same thing with Sammy the Bull. Listen, do me a favor, all you rat motherfuckers. Do not invite me on your show. You're insulting me. I wouldn't pee on you if you were on fire. Leave my name out of your mouth and go about your own fucking business. Fuck yous all. I'm done with you.
And that's that.
That's it.
Yeah.
So I'm going to show you his text to me.
Yeah, we'll post
I
that.
would never go on his fucking, none of their shows. And then you got that other nut, Ciali, what the fuck's
Tom Kikali.
Whoever the fuck, he's obsessed by me.
Yeah, he says my name wrong, your name wrong, so we'll say his name. It's Chicklets.
Yeah, Chicklets.
Yeah,
Chicklets. Yeah. It looks like he's on crack. Anyway, you got him talking on this thing. They said that I should teach kids. I'm not telling kids to follow my footsteps.
Yeah, we mentioned nothing
You're
about
worried about kids.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, what about all the kids? All the people you put in jail and you left their kids? Forget about the men you put in jail. What about their families and their kids? You ain't worried about fucking kids, you motherfucker. You made orphans. You made kids orphans. Their fathers got life bits. You ain't worried about fucking kids, so don't go there with the kid shit with me. That's all bullshit. You're full of shit. You're worried about kids. And that's what they do. I mean, listen, they put us in jail. They put me in jail. I was in jail a lot of time. I did a lot of time. My father did a lot of time.
Yeah.
They don't hurt us. We're fucking men. They hurt our families. They hurt our mothers, our kids, our wives. That's who they hurt. They ain't hurting me.
Absolutely.
I had fun in jail. I mean, I don't want to be there, but you make the best of it.
Yeah.
We laughed, we broke balls. The same thing like we're doing here, we did in there.
Yeah.
You get a bunch of good guys in here, you have fun, you work out, you stay in shape, and that's it.
Yeah.
But as far as all that shit, he's worried about kids.
Yeah.
And I'm teaching kids the wrong path. I ain't teaching no kids the wrong path. We're going to go to the youth study center and talk to kids. You fucking idiot. You can't go nowhere. You can't even go. If you come to, I want you to come to the youth study center in Philly and talk to the kids. You'll get it beaten. They'll beat you up, the juveniles. They don't want you. Nobody wants you. Stay where the fuck you're at.
Yeah, they
Talk
mention
to you
your
later.
name.
Well, yeah, because they're trying to get ratings on their show.
Yeah.
And we're in Tampa. I think that other rat lives out here.
Yes.
Tampa's got us with open arms. We'll be back.
That's right.
We're coming back here.
And we got Ric Flair coming on.
We got Ric.
Okay, people. Ric Flair's right behind me. You can't see him, but he's right behind me. And when you think about it, Ric Flair used to deliver the SmackDown. He used to take this slap across your chest. This is what Ric Flair was famous for. So this guy does a show. Not only does he do a show, he destroys the informants all in one big mighty blow. And he even does something that you would never think that someone would do. And this is, I've done interviews with the author of the book, Sonny. But he brought up a good point. Okay. And Sonny Franzese is considered a upstanding guy that did his time in prison and never ratted. And he had two sons who became rats or informants. But he accepted the sons back in his life when he got out of prison. It's a father with two sons. You know, I'm not sure whether how many children is involved in anybody's life here, or if Joey Merlino has children. But when it comes to children, you'll have people in prison that children do awful crimes and they still go to prisons to visit them because they're their children. So I can't really say whether I agree with the part with Sonny Franzese, but he does make a very good point. Sonny did know what was going on. So But Joey reminds me of John Gotti. And let me tell you how. The government wanted to destroy Joey Merlino so bad. They wanted to destroy John Gotti so bad. The difference is John Gotti got out of, died in prison. Joey Merlino was lucky enough to get out of prison. There's no guarantee that he won't wind up there because we know how the federal government is. When they want you, they'll come after you. But here you have a guy, he's going after the biggest informants in the history of the mob. You're talking Sammy Gavano, underboss. Sammy Gavano, he goes after. He goes after a guy that was a huge capo in the Colombo family, Michael Franzese. He hits a legend in Sonny Franzese. And then he rips apart Dominic Cicali. And when you think about it, no one's ever done this. I do lots of shows, and a lot of people might say, "Oh, I don't like Lee. He interviewed this one, he interviewed that one." But you know what? We do a pretty good job here going after Sammy Gavano. Sammy Gavano mentions us all the time. We went after on this show. We went after Michael Franzese last week. Michael Franzese countered us because he didn't like that we had Petty on the Sandra Petty on the show, and she wrote the book about her father, and she came out and said that he was an informant. I got hit hard because I said Michael Franzese was an informant, and then he comes out and does that show and says I wasn't an informant, and then Joey comes out and says, "Oh yes, you were." And then he talked about Norby Walters and he talked about the driver. That's fact. The driver went to prison. Norby Walters would have went to prison if it wasn't for a mistake made that was corrected by the judge. So Norby Walters lucked out. Otherwise, he's in prison. So Norby Walters got out on the technicality, but it was still the testimony of Michael Franzese that put him in prison, or would have put him in prison. So if I say it, it's wrong. I get blasted here by all these Franzese people. But what are you going to say to Joey Merlino? Joey Merlino, he knows things that I do not know. He knows things about, I'm sure he talks to people behind the scenes, people that understand, lawyers and all that stuff. So here you got this lawyer for Michael Franzese that comes forward. And he says to Joey, "Please come on our show." If Joey was a fake and a fraud, he would have jumped all over that, because that's Michael Franzese. This is a guy that's been on every major show there is. This is a guy that has I think 5 million views on Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson and stuff like that. I got an idea. Mike Tyson should get a hold of Joey Merlino or Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan would be better yet. But Joe Rogan doesn't understand things because Joe Rogan just recently said Michael Franzese is not a rat. But Joe Rogan knows nothing about the mob or informants or something like that. Maybe if Joey Merlino went on his show, he could set him straight. But this is incredible stuff. I mean, the shows are, it's hard to believe that this man does a 25-minute show a week. And that show gives you so much information that he almost doesn't need another show. They're very powerful shows. The most powerful shows in the mob genre that we've ever seen. Nobody can even come close to him. I just did who was, and I'm going to tell you something. This is where Mikey Scars is really smart, because Mikey Scars knows he's an informant. Mikey Scars knows he's an informant, but he's not going to get involved in this stuff because he does not want to be brutalized by Joey Merlino. So I would say to these informants, why are you messing with this guy? He's brutalizing you. Michael Franzese, didn't you realize that this was going to end this way? I didn't realize it was going to end this brutal, but look how it ended. This was not a pretty sight. I mean, you have a guy that's out here, he almost 40,000 subscribers already, and he's not even trying. And he went on with 1,000 people watching, over 1,300 people watching, and he just crushed you. Absolutely crushed you like you've never been crushed on here before. You know, you and Sammy, you've been walking around getting free passes. Now, Sammy, his free pass ended, especially when Mikey Scars came on and really explained who the real Sammy was. But see, Mikey Scars ain't even on the same level as Joey Merlino, because Joey Merlino was in the streets, he was a boss, and he never informed. And that's what separates. And Mikey Scars would say the same thing. I happen to know that Mikey Scars' son loves Joey Merlino's show. That says it all, people. That's how entertaining this man is. It's like the best half hour show. If you are a fan of Cheers or something like that, welcome to the new Cheers of the YouTube mob genre. It's incredible. It's incredible. We can't say it any other way. It's so damn entertaining. And me, I don't watch the gambling part, you know, but I watch the entertainment part where he's talking about informants and when he's talking about other things. I actually wish that Joey Merlino was around 2 years ago, so I would understand better about informants. That's my cross to bear. But a guy like this makes it really understanding. There was no, it's like if you listen to him, you understand how bad this whole thing is with informants. But I can't change what I've done. I can only change what I'm doing going forward and what I've done in the last couple months. But the fact of the matter is, phenomenal show. He absolutely buried these guys. Hats off to Joey Merlino. Hats off to Little Snuff. Fantastic show. It should be, actually, I think it should get 30,000 viewers at one time because it is that good. And with that, people, the information will be underneath here. Thank you very much.